You want to know how bot trading works? In this video, Brian, the CEO of Autoview, helps me to pick a winning strategy on TradingView so I can start automating my trades on Bitcoin. Follow along this 3-part video series to learn how you can set up your bot trading on Crypto.com. I'm Maru, a complete beginner in trading, so if I can follow this, I'm sure this will be easy for you too. Okay, first we need to open a TradingView account. If you don't have one yet, you can start a free trial for 30 days. Now, once I'm in, I can add a custom strategy called Accuvault that is available for users of Autoview. And if you're new to the channel, Autoview is a plugin that connects TradingView alerts to a broker. In other words, it's a bot that does the trading for you. Okay, now it's Brian's turn, so let's follow along.
Click on that link and you go right at the top. There's a big star, add to favorites.
Add to favorites, got it. Yeah.
Click that.
Yeah.
And now back in your TradingView chart where we should see you streaming. You can click on indicators at the top.
All right.
And the Accuvault, that guy right there, clicker. And it should show up on your chart.
Set the start time.
Yeah, so click the X on the indicator, close that window.
Okay.
Oh, that did that too. Now click anywhere on it and it'll just set start time. All the walkthrough stuff, I love it.
Right.
You can click, got it. Okay, so now, right down in the bottom left corner, you can see the word overview. Highlighted
Here.
black right above it. Yeah, right above it, so you got your Accuvault report, settings. And we're going to be doing that. We're going to be coming here in and out quite a bit. So the first at the top, the start time, change to 2024 to like 2000.
101.
Just to make sure we go back as far as we possibly can.
I see.
Okay, so click OK on this. Now up in the top left corner, you're on Apple.
Right.
We gotta click AAPL up one little, click that. And BTC USD.
This one, right?
Yeah, well, we want crypto.com. So we'll scroll down a bit, scroll down. I don't see it's not on the page. Not on the page. CryptoCap, 8K.
This one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to change the defaults on that Accuvault script. So I'm going to go to the right under where it says Bitcoin. You got the prices, the buy and sell button.
Here.
There's volume and hover over Accuvault.
All right.
Go to the right to the 3 dots, the ...
Okay.
Move to.
Move to.
And then new pane below.
Yeah, I'm happy to have a guide. Otherwise, I would have no idea what to do here.
Right. Yeah, the setup is most typically people that would be using Autoview with TradingView are already familiar with TradingView.
Right. Yeah.
But these little things, in a lot of cases, they might not be. So it's good that we're covering all of this.
Very good.
So essentially, now you've got a strategy on your chart that will technically trade and do everything for you from here. So what we want to do is find one that's kind of suited to you.
All right.
So hover over your candles, the chart pattern at the top, that part of the pane, and just scroll wheel back to make sure we're zoomed out as much as we can.
Like this?
Yep. And it kind of gives you can see now that there's some buy and sell signals. There was one buy, which is the blue. It shows how much Bitcoin you would have bought and where you would have sold it. So we've just got this one trade with the current strategy.
I see.
So that's where we're going to start playing with the settings to see if we could kind of find a buy and a sell area that would suit you. So we'll go back to the strategy settings, which is the Accuvault report.
Here?
Down by the overview again. Oh, yeah, you can do it from there too.
Okay.
Yeah, right up. Yep. Go up just a little bit and click on
this one.
That guy.
Settings. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so we'll go to the second tab, which is properties.
All right.
And this is how much you plan on trading with. Like I'll send you, for the testing part, I'll send you 200. So we can change our initial capital to 200.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do order size, which is the third one. We'll change that to Crypto.com's minimum is 10. So to avoid everything, we'll do $12 per order.
Okay.
Just make sure we cover fees and everything. Crypto.com commission is point. Yeah, I prepared everything for Kraken, so I know all these numbers are Kraken.
No
Let's say
worries.
point. Let's say 0.35. That's pretty much an average. So under the 0.35.
3.5.
Okay, it gets expensive. That's all we should need on this page. So we go back to the inputs tab.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way these work, I know you're not familiar with a lot of indicators and stuff like that. So this strategy uses what's called the RSI, Relative Strength Index. And you can see
Okay.
the orange line on the graph that goes up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
So essentially when that reaches like high points, you can see on the right side, it's a scale of 0 to 100. So what this
You're right.
strategy does, it kind of changes, it uses an algorithm or whatever the math behind the relative strength index is. It'll change the values that we use that, whether it goes 3 candles back, 20 candles back, etc., etc. That's your length range. So this one's going to generate a random number between 2 and 20. And
Okay.
then the oversold and overbought ranges are like the top and bottom. So anything that crosses above, 65 to 90, whatever number we choose in there, will be a sell signal, and anything that goes under
I
10 to
see.
35 will be a buy signal. So
Okay.
if you so your master strategy number is what's going to generate these random numbers to give you new strategies every time. You can just change that. So click on your master strategy number
Okay.
and click on the up arrow or down arrow, whichever direction you want to go. And you'll see the whole strategy in the background changes. The buy signals and stuff that were there are no longer there.
I
So what we're
see.
going to be looking at is your total P&L, right? Because you'd be down 7% if you were running this exact setup.
What
So
is
you just
P&L?
click profit and loss.
Okay.
So you're on the L side right now. You're a loss of $14. So we don't like that one. So you click the up arrow again.
Where can I see the loss?
That is right under the overview, right by where you would go to turn your settings.
Okay.
Yeah,
Here. Gotcha.
yeah. So your
Okay.
max equity drawdown, you would have been down at $1.20, but you've locked in technically $14 loss. So we don't like that. So we'll try a different strategy number and see
Okay.
what happens. So this one you can see a lot more trades in the background. So if you actually
Okay.
drag this settings window to the right, you can cover all that watch list yet, so you can see your chart better. Now you can kind of zoom in and get a feel of what would have happened if you were running this. You can see the buy signal. You would have bought Bitcoin
Right.
at, actually, you're kind of hiding the price a little bit with our window.
Right.
It looks about 80,000,
Yeah.
right? So you would have bought 80,000, 87,000, then you would have sold it. You can see the next sell signal was 92,000. So we
Right.
kind of get a feel if, you would have liked that or you would not have liked that, and you could go through and look at how would you have felt. So the whole strategy that we're going to run is kind of just to get you to feel the emotions and everything around, and we'll develop around that.
Explain
So
me.
this one,
I'm because I'm new to trading in general. So, what is this idea around emotions? First time I hear it.
um, Rick, do you want to take a stab at this one or?
Basically, Maru, what we need to do when we trade and
Mm-hmm.
why automation helps is we don't want to get caught up in trading because I'm afraid I'll get out or I fear I'm going to miss the trade, so I get in. If we
Right.
trade with emotions, the market is psychologically designed to take away your money. And
That
this
makes
is
sense.
why automation helps because it takes the emotion out of it. And so when you're testing these strategies like the one Brian is showing,
Right.
it will allow you to automate it ultimately so that you take all your emotions out of it. You know that you have a winning approach and you just let it trade for you. So you're not really using fear or greed. These kinds of emotions are the ones that get the best of us and
I
land
see.
up creating a losing uh, setup.
Okay, that makes sense.
Um, the other thing that I like to tell people when it comes to trading is if you're spending your days in losing positions or in negatives and you're not comfortable with it, in general, your whole life kind of revolves around that because it's your money. So, picture if you're married with kids and someone, had an injury and missed a whole week of work. Well, now you go to Walmart or somewhere to buy your groceries and you can't buy the stuff you want because you didn't make the money for it. So you're cranky. Mom and dad are both starting to get cranky. The kids are used to getting, a drink or something on the way, and you can't do all these things. So your whole life can be affected by being in bad trades or
Right.
good trades. So if you're making money, then of course everything in life is going to be good. But if you're not making money and you're actually losing money, everything in life can be bad. So emotions are, we want to remove them, but even with automated trading, they're involved because even if your robot is not doing good, you're losing money and your emotions are affected. So
Right.
that's where this strategy and what I hope this strategy allows people to learn. This is a very, very pinned down aspect of the strategy. Before this is over, I'll show you kind of like if you took all the pieces apart and used each one individually, what it looks like.
Yeah.
This one's more it's just to get you started. It's get you comfortable with getting into trades without your involvement. It's getting you comfortable with, did I like that? Did I not like that? How did I feel while that was happening? Get all of those. That's the trading aspect that you need to learn before you can become good at trading. And then it's also the whole automated aspect to let you comfortable with waking up to seeing that you might have sold $1,000 worth of something or bought $1,000 worth of something, right? In your case, it's
Right.
with $12 at a time right now. So it's more
To
about,
start with. Yeah.
yeah, it's more about just learning how now you're a trader, right? You got something running your money, using your money, buying and selling stuff without you around. You got to get used to that. It could lead to a huge life change. And that
Right.
stuff doesn't happen overnight comfortably, right? We want you to be comfortable with the whole process before you really start turning it up and getting used to it all.
Gotcha. Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll run through a couple more of these strategy numbers. Just kind of
Mm-hmm.
click up, wait a couple seconds. We'll look at it, click up, wait a couple seconds.
All right. So
Uh,
this is doing even better.
This one is doing a little better. It's only 10 trades, so we do want
Okay.
to see more. We're on the daily chart right now, which means you would only see a trade, honestly, if you were running this once every couple weeks, which I'm sure
I
Rick will
see.
agree with. I've got Devin over here, the other founder of Autoview. People aren't comfortable when you come for automation. What people really typically want is they want to be running on the 1 second candles. They want to do hundreds of thousands of trades a day,
Wow.
which fees and stuff like that, it's not feasible. But that's what people look for, right? They think, well, if I'm only making a trade every 2-3 weeks, why do I need to automate? And it's like newsletters and stuff like that. If you get a newsletter every day, you're going to start ignoring it and forgetting about it.
Right.
You're not going to open them. But then if you
Yeah.
get one that's every 3 weeks, if you got an email every 3 weeks to a month from someone, they're like, okay, we're watching this market, we're not doing anything. We're watching this market we just bought. The odds of you running to your computer and buying what that email just told you to buy are really slim. So you
Mm,
technically miss the email alert as well. Whereas
right.
this will make sure you get that email and you're like, okay, I actually bought. Right? You don't miss it. So it's
Right.
almost more important to automate the longer term stuff because it slips your mind. You forget about it. You lose the. Whereas if you're
Yeah.
running the 15-second chart, people don't realize that automating something like a 1 second or the low time frame actually has you sitting on the computer almost more because it's doing so much. You're always watching it. You're watching
I
it more
see.
than it
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
So zoom out and just consistently make money. And this is just step one, right? We can get you
Yeah.
zooming in. We can eventually get you down. There are people out there that are successfully running 15 seconds or lower, but those are like they're
That
sitting at the
sounds really
computer.
intensive.
It is, even though it's automated, they're sitting at their computer 9 to 5 while it's running, and they have rules where their bots shut off on certain days because of markets. I mean, Rick traded those markets. I trade crypto and Bitcoin. We're going over that 24/7. I don't really have time frames. I don't avoid trading on the weekend. Whereas a
I
lot of those
see.
guys, they only trade 9 to 5 in the first place,
Mm,
automated or not. They're sitting at the computer. That's kind of
Right.
what we want to automate, so we're not sitting at our computer, right?
Yeah, I prefer that option.
Right. So this
Mar-
daily is just to kind of give us an idea of what it would do on the long term. We're not going to run a strategy here. We're going to end up going in a little lower. So we'll just keep running. You know, this one, 100% on your money. It's not terrible. You saw a big batch of sells. This one's got some decent sells. So if we zoom out to go see where we bought, we can
Okay,
see.
so here.
Yeah. So in this case, you can see that you were a pretty big buyer on Bitcoin in the range of, it looks like 30,000 to 20,000, look almost down to 15,000. So you did a bunch of buying. You bought Bitcoin 30,000 to 15,000. You bought quite a bit of it. It's over the span, because we're on a daily, of months.
Right.
So if you went to Thanksgiving dinner or pool parties or anything like that, and anything came up about your trading, you know, you'd be like, yeah, my system's been buying Bitcoin for the last couple months. And you're going to get the emotion and how people treat that, right? They're going to be like, what do you mean you're buying Bitcoin? The price is dying. The price is crashing. And you're like, that's okay. I have a
Right.
system that I trust that's buying Bitcoin for me right now. That's all that matters. I'm buying Bitcoin. So, and then the next Thanksgiving dinner you have, which is a year now, you get to scroll up the chart and you can see you've started selling now.
Right.
And now you're selling
Making profit.
Bitcoin, making profit. And now you've been selling Bitcoin for months. So those same pool parties you're going to, now you're selling Bitcoin. You just had, I think, $50,000, $60,000 you're selling Bitcoin here.
Right.
So, you know, it seems like a terrible in retrospect, because you're automated and it's only making a trade every couple months. But when you zoom out and see the big picture, you were buying Bitcoin under 30K and you've been selling around 60K. Right.
Okay.
So big picture is, yeah, it's you know, a lot of trading strategies, Rick and myself, like when you get into the day trading and stuff, you don't do a lot of little buys and a lot of little sells. You would buy it and then you sell it, and then you buy it and you sell it. You don't really care what the price is, what the long-term vision, none of that is. You just buy it, you sell it. So this is more of like what we call a dollar cost averaging. It's like more of an investment strategy.
Right. Yeah.
To get the feeling of it. So this one, not horrible, but I can tell you from experience, Rick probably agree, Devin, you wouldn't be very happy with the idea. Like, yeah, if you spent the last 6 months buying Bitcoin under 30K and you started selling it at 15 or 20K there.
Yeah.
You're buying around 30, under 30, you start selling over 30. But then by the time it gets to 60, you're going to get a little upset that you started selling at 30. Right? Like,
Okay.
and I hold it all till I got here. So this strategy does give us the idea that we can buy low and we can sell high. We just, I personally, I know you would, running it live, be very comfortable with the distribution, right? You want more of a spread and a little decent range. So we'll
Sure.
try another master strategy number and see what happens.
No data.
No data on this one. All right, next one. And the next one.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so here we got
trades.
More trades, but again, we could tell we did some buying on when it crashed there. We bought a bunch at like 45, 50,000, and then we did nothing during the dump because we ran out of money. So unless you were reinvesting and adding more money, you missed the whole crash down to 20,000, 15,000. Sure, you bought low and you sell high, but no one's gonna be happy running this as an automated strategy either. So next.
Okay. Only 5 trades.
Right? Well, 5 closed trades. So this one you can see you've pretty much been buying Bitcoin up until almost a year range, and you've been selling since. And you can see that you've got about a dozen buys, but you've only sold 5. So you still have quite a bit of Bitcoin if you were running this tool. So
Okay.
this tool hasn't even considered buying Bitcoin in years. And it's just it's selling it every now and then. Every couple months you're getting a couple sells. Well, if we look the RSI, I would say it's probably close to getting another sell, judging by the chart.
Right.
So
Yeah, and one thing you want to also watch here, Maru, is that you are on a daily time frame. You see your chart has 1 hour candle for each day,
Right.
and
Yeah.
That's why the time frames are so long that you're seeing on these trades. And Brian, I
Right.
guess at some point you would want to try an hourly or a 4 hourly time frame, right?
It's
To
funny
see
that, yeah,
how
you
that
hit
would
that
perform.
point because that's where we're going now. My next question would have been, Maru, you understand what kind of strategy we're looking at here. It's going to be, you're going to be buying for a little while, and then when you
Yeah.
reach your profit, you're going to be selling.
Yeah. More or less.
Now that we understand what happens, and we can see that on the daily, we're talking years and a couple trades a month, which wouldn't make most people happy.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to play with one more setting on this daily, and then we'll go back down. And that setting is the take profit percent, which is set to 5 in your settings there. The
Okay.
way this the way this works, it will never, so it doesn't sell right when you're at 5% take profit. Once you cross your 5% take profit threshold, it's going to start looking for sell opportunities based on that relative strength, the orange thing. So this strategy will never sell any Bitcoin you ever buy at a loss. If you're at a
Yeah.
loss, it will always look to just buy more, assuming you have the funds to do it. And then once you're in a profit of, you've reached your threshold of 5%, that profit, you'll never buy again until you sell all your Bitcoin while you're in profit. So it's kind of a guaranteed, you won't lose money the longer you run this,
I
but you
see.
will end up times where you're buying and you're buying, and yes, you'll see negatives while you're buying, but you're
Right.
buying lower and lower and lower until your bag is full and then up. So you can
Mm-hmm.
play with that a little bit to kind of find a range and threshold. If you change it to 0,
Okay.
you can do here. You'll see now pretty much as soon as you're break even, it would start looking for your signals. It didn't change the
Mm.
strategy because we're on a daily and the RSI. By the time you get an RSI sell signal, chances are you're in profit of at least 0 anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And on the daily, it might make it to 1020 before you get an RSI signal. So it didn't really affect things, but that's how the take profit works. If you found your sells are too close to your buys, you just kind of increase your take profit range.
Okay.
So that being said, we're gonna zoom in. Yeah, let's do 4 hour. Okay, up in the top, right sort of BTC USD, there's the big D for daily.
All right.
Yeah, click that, and then I'll go to 4 hours, which is the bottom one.
I see.
And
Okay.
so what this changes is every candle you see on your chart, every green and red, that's a 4 hour time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
pretty much every 4 hours now, the bot and the tool is going to be looking for a trade opportunity rather than every 24 hours on the daily.
Right.
So you can get a decent amount of more trades. So we'll scroll out, zoom out as much as we can so we can see as many of these candles as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to run through a couple of these master strategy numbers to see if we can
Okay. So I
start.
got it from here. Yeah.
Yeah, see, it was a good thing that you're driving or you're controlling the mouse because you're learning the process.
Exactly.
So
Nice.
here we can see that we got some ins and outs and ins and outs, a lot more, bouncy.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you kind of want to, how would you feel if that's how you traded, right? You could see you were buying Bitcoin pretty low during the range there, selling it a little bit higher, but you did miss the big run ups, right? Like you sold all your Bitcoin right around the middle of the chart there, yet you're
Yeah.
out of Bitcoin. It ran up, and then you started
There's
buying
nothing.
again.
Right on the top.
Right? So probably not what you're going to want to do. So we'll just
Hmm.
kind of go through the strategy numbers here until we find something that, shows more buys on the left side,
Wow. Okay.
right? If you want to go crazy, um, you could do something like this. But again, you could see that because you're probably going all in all the time, you got $200, you're putting 12 in at a time, you can only place about 10 orders. I guess
Right. Yeah.
mathematically closer to 15, but
Mm.
it's a big difference. If you got a $30,000 account and you did 1% at a time, right? $300. Now you can go a little more wild, or $15 at a time with no bank account. You can buy every candle, sell every candle.
Right.
Um, right. But you in this case, we've $12 a time, $200. So it's more in lines with what a starting someone that wants to test and learn this will have.
Mm.
So I want to say that's a little too much for you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
This one's a little better. We can see that we're buying all the lows, getting rid of some coins on the highs. And then, overall, if you started, so now that we switched time frames, if you down by the overview, you can see there's a list of trades to the right, overview, performance, trade analysis, risk performance, list of trades.
Where is that? Here? Okay.
Yep. If we click on that, and then we sort it by trade number. So we see the first trade. So this is going back to 2020. You've been, say, if you were trading this. So you go back to the overview. And so you got to look at it since 2020, 5 years, you're up 150% on your account, which is pretty good on average. Right? You're talking 30% a year, which is pretty good.
Right. Not bad. Not bad.
And then the beauty that we haven't touched on this strategy, the reason it's called Accuvault is because it accumulates and vaults Bitcoin for you.
I like that.
Every time you make profit, it doesn't actually take the profit out in USD, it leaves it in Bitcoin. And Bitcoin being a deflationary asset that just kind of goes up over time, I think it's averaging like 30% a year if you go back.
Right.
By holding that and building and keeping your profit in it, it gives you that much more profit and money to play with. So it's kind of a way to invest $200 to begin dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin.
Nice.
If that makes sense, right? So you put $200 in, and if you just put $200 in Bitcoin when this started in 2020, you'd be at X amount. The problem with that is you can't really take out profit. You can't really turn it up or increase. Whereas this one, it starts you with $200 trading account, and all your profit goes into Bitcoin. Eventually, the Bitcoin itself will be worth so much more that your trading account that you could take some out and increase your trading account or whatnot, right? It's a way just to start acquiring Bitcoin. You accumulate Bitcoin and vault it.
Nice.
So that obviously helps with the profits and the stuff. So the trades are not nearly as important as they would normally be, because you don't have to be perfect. You're able to do multiple buys, multiple sells, as long as your profit goes into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, in theory, over time goes up.
Right.
It goes down.
Well, so we are talking about a strategy where, like, I'm fully comfortable of seeing this as a kind of a long-term investment. So I keep the money in for years and just see it accumulate over the years.
Exactly. And what we'll do, because we're on a higher time frame, we use that money to fund further trading accounts. Once you make money from trading, you can use the money you're making to leverage things.
I see.
Right? Which is how the wealthy treat life in general. They'll leverage their second home by putting a mortgage on their first home. And then they use the cash flow from the second home to get a mortgage off the first two homes for the third home. Kind of how the cycle goes. You don't really ever want to sell your assets. You want to continuously increase your assets so you can borrow more money against them for more assets, and so on and so on. So this 1 hour dollar cost average can lead to something which Rick even has a video on our YouTube about it. Actual day trading on the S&P 500 using decent amount of leverage futures, and you can you buy and you sell sometimes within minutes to make money. Most people can't afford to do that or risk that without having a stable cash flow coming from somewhere else to invest into those things, right?
Right. Yeah.
So this is your foundation to give you hopefully everything to go forward. So we just kind of cycle through the the seed numbers here to find something that we like, and over time you'll just kind of keep adjusting it, playing with your take profit levels.
I see. So at any point I can come in here and change the settings.
Correct. Yep.
All right.
So I would cycle a couple more till we find one that, like this one, honestly, it's not terrible. But I do think we'll see if we zoom into the 1 hour, we'll find a nice happy place. So we'll run through a few more of these to get an idea.
Okay.
This one, you could see it had you as a heavy buyer on the left when Bitcoin's price was
Going down.
I don't know what the prices were anymore, but and then
Yeah.
you've been selling since. Price Bitcoin's at its highs, all-time highs right now. So
Right. Yeah.
it makes sense to be a seller more than a buyer, depending
Mm.
on where you are in the Bitcoin community. And are you just buy and hold forever? Michael Saylor and those guys.
Right.
Actually, I think he just bought like 250 million again today or this weekend at like 105,000.
Wow. Okay.
He's just always buying.
Mm.
He's always, but it's part of why we're able to do stuff like we're doing, because they're always buying. It's we can buy low, sell high, and accumulate with them.
Mm.
So this one's not bad. It's had you selling Bitcoin since 70K and buying under 70K. It's kind of that range. So we'll cycle another one. We don't
Okay,
like
this
that
is,
one.
yeah,
Nothing.
91 trades.
Right. This one's definitely got you selling the highs, buying the lows. It's not horrible. It's not horrible. It's up 100%. So over 5 years, you talk about 25 or 20% a year that you've made. Plus you're holding. We can actually see if we close the settings for a second here.
Yeah.
And then on right where your mouse is, right on the right side, there's the alert, and then a little, I don't know, go up with your mouse. Do
Here.
you see the symbols in the right sidebar? Yeah, go up. There's the 5 at the top. You want the fourth one. I don't know how to describe it, like a flat piece of paper. Yep.
Yeah, this one. Object
Yep.
tree.
And then click in the data window, which is the tab.
Okay.
And then if we scroll down a little bit under the Accuvault settings, you can see your vault size. It's the
What does
fourth
that
one.
mean?
So that's how much Bitcoin you've accumulated from the profit on your trades. So in theory, if you were to log into your trading account after X long, it would have your $200 that you started with plus 0.002 Bitcoin at an
Okay.
average price of 84,000. So that's your cost basis on the Bitcoin that you have in the vault, which you've invested $112. So you've made $112 from trading on your $200 account. So you're up 50% in trading. Because you put that into Bitcoin and left it there, it's up another 50% because your average is 84 and it's sitting around, I guess not 50%, you're about 15, so closer to 20%. But that Bitcoin is up. So you bought that Bitcoin for $112. You could actually sell it right now for $160, $170. So
Right.
still, right? So that's not terrible. $200, and you have about $200 worth of Bitcoin plus your $200 trading account.
Okay. Sounds fair.
Right. So the whole idea there is not bad. Yeah, this one's not horrible. So this where you can zoom in to maybe even the last month or two. So if you zoom in, we got
Okay,
April,
that's,
May. I don't know if you see
yeah.
the dates up there. Yeah, so the
Yeah,
last
they're
2
here.
months, that's where you gotta ask yourself, if you were running this over the last 2 months, you haven't really done anything. You
Right.
sold a little
There's
bit of
only one
Bitcoin.
song.
Yeah. Oh, you sold a bunch of your Bitcoin at just before 100K, and then you've only sold a little bit over 100K, and you've just been probably watching the charts going, what, right? So probably a little too slow or quiet. So I would try another seed here,
Okay.
and now just watch the last couple months.
Yeah.
So this one, it looks like you've probably bought Bitcoin quite a bit lower ahead of time. You've sold all that now. Yeah, so you were a buyer down in the 80K range, a
Okay.
pretty heavy buyer, and then you sold it all up here at 100,000. I want to say you're out of Bitcoin because you've started buying again.
I see.
So this one has you up 150% overall. You can look at your vault to see how much Bitcoin you would have, and it gives you an idea of the big picture.
I see. Okay. So this is a little more than the other one was, I guess.
Yep, 0.003. The average is 47,000. So this one definitely, right, the average is half of what the other one was. So this one is much better than the last one.
I see. Okay.
So that's the idea. I don't know if we if you would like to play with it on your own, go through it, or we can just kind of find one like this one, for example, and
Yeah,
we would
let's lock one in
almost
and
be it.
yeah.
Yeah, so you know, this one I wouldn't. This one's not terrible, if you ask me, because you were a buyer and a seller, kind of all at the right points.
Mm-hmm.
To give you an idea of what everything feels like, you would have a decent little Bitcoin bag at this point. Any event you went to, you would probably look like the crazy guy because you're buying Bitcoin when it's dead and you're selling it when it's running, right? Which is the opposite. That's the emotions.
Right.
People aren't good at that. They don't want to sell, like Warren Buffett, blood in the streets, buy the blood in the streets. It's everyone else is panicking because the world's over. They're, you know,
Right.
they're breaking windows at stores and they're stealing all the clothes and stuff. And you're the guy sitting there buying all the stocks and everything that they're selling. You're a crazy person at that time. Right?
I see.
And then in Bitcoin, I can't tell you how many times we watch people, if you use these as sell signals, a lot of the people in the community will start talking about how do I quit my job to become a day trader. I'm buying, like literally going to be buying yachts. People will start showing off the cars that they're buying with their Bitcoin. When you start to see that stuff, that's kind of usually it's right these so we let that handle that. You're the crazy person. That's part of it.
I see.
So I don't mind this one. I want to say since we're not at a state where we can actually switch it and get it running on crypto.com because we're not verified, don't have the funds, and my script is set up for Kraken.
Okay.
We can cut this aspect here because you've technically just run through the Accuvault that set up the strategy. So I'm thinking maybe we'll switch back to my screen share now.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
I'll go over the big ultimate strategy builder concept.
How was that for a lesson? For me as a beginner, this was really helpful to wrap my head around trading strategy and the tools. If you have any question, you can join the Autoview Discord community from the link below or write a comment here. Please also hit the like and subscribe if this content was helpful. In the next video, Brian will dive deeper into different indicators and explain how the ultimate strategy builder works. Watch it here.